You got to hear Pastor here. Don't worry about it. It's just my way of handling things. So if that's the case, maybe rather than being on the streets hooking and booking and clubbing at night, maybe you can preserve your life by going home and staying off the street. Right. Listen. In 2015, 369 babies from the age 1 to 4 died. Teens, 15 to 24, 4,733. Age 25 to 34, 4,863. Add them up. 10,000 young people in 1 year lost their lives in homicide. Drive-by shootings. You see on the news the other day, the lady pregnant got hit at the bus stop? Abraham was old. That is but one way not to get there. Well, Abraham seemed to have made it through the turmoil of his day. And when he got there, I like what the text said about him. Abraham was old, well stricken in age. He was sure enough old. And the Lord had blessed him. Abraham in all things. The first thing that the Lord blessed him with was to get old. It's a blessing to get old. It's a blessing to be counted as a senior. And my brothers and sisters, we ought to thank God if you've got a senior in your life that means something to you. You ought to bless God for the privilege of having someone that means something. Thank you, Toya, for appreciating your mother. And would to God that more of us would just tell some mother, some father who's worried all night long about where you are because you don't care enough to even call and say, I'm all right. I know it's not Mother's Day, but we're just thanking God for being old enough to say that I am a senior. And I wanted to bring this text to you because it doesn't sound like those who wrote, Moses who wrote this book concerning Abraham, that Abraham even felt bad about being a senior. There's some folk who feel like they are all by themselves. But look, Abraham was old and well stricken, but the Lord blessed Abraham in all things. That brings me into another dynamic to what I want to talk about today. He was old. What was Abraham concerned about? This text will tell you that Abraham was concerned about his son Isaac. Listen, he was well now in age. He was a widow. And so he had to live. He buried his wife in chapter 23. And now he's got a son. He's old. And what's going to happen to Isaac when I close my eyes? All right. I've seen this transition in my own life. Worrying about now with my children. I'm 60 years old now. And I'm telling you, things change because I've witnessed a change in my own life. And as I know from here, it ain't but one place to go. And life does not have a reverse. I will never be 59 again. I came back up on my age. All y'all who've been 39 for the last 20 years, come on, be honest with yourself. That ain't really what's going on. You came back up on your age. Life has but 1 year, and that's foul. Abraham was at an age where he was what's going to happen to my son?
Yeah.
And I think that's the question of every mature adult. When you're gone, what your children going to, will they be all right? All right? I remember at the bedside of my dying mother, who didn't know she was dying yet, she looked at my uncle and said, take care of Steve and Faye, Van, Wayne, and Henry are going to be all right. But there's something about a parent who's really living out their role. They want to know that their children are going to be all right. All right? Yeah, so Abraham thought now, he said, that boy need a wife. And Isaac need a wife. So he called his other servant, his oldest servant, whom he trusted, and said, I want you to make an agreement with me. I want you to go back to my homeland. I wish you would hear me today. Go to my homeland and find my son a wife. What are you saying, preacher? This is not in my text, but I better tell you. You better be careful where you get your husband and your wives from. Don't just let them boys marry a skirt. I wish I had a witness. And you better check them boys out that's coming to see your daughters. Well, it's a tough one. He said he needs a wife, but I don't want you to get one out of Canaan where we live. I wish you'd read the text when you get home. Now, that is to say, sometimes we move on up. And we move too much up. The significance of getting a wife, he said, I want you to go back to where I'm from and get a wife that looks like me. Get a wife for my son who have the same value that I have. Now, I know it ain't popular because we're in the day and time where we think we can marry anybody for any reason and anything. But if you follow the biblical principle, he said to his servant, and if you read the text, the servant said, okay, all right, master, I'm going to go down the highway and I'm going to look for a wife. But what if the woman that I find for him don't want to come back, don't want to leave? Watch what he said. Now, here's how you know you're following the biblical path. He said, Abraham said, well, don't worry about none of that. Because the angel of the Lord is going to go before you. And here it is, my dears. When you're really trying to do godly things, you got to use godly principles. Now, you can't talk about God without talking about angels. And Abraham said, don't worry about it. It was a legitimate question. What happens if I go back to Hiram and say, you look like a good wife for my master's son, and she decides that she don't want to go? He said, don't worry about that. The angel is going to go and pave the way. If you are a praying child, I heard Toya talk about it. If there's people who believe in the power of prayer, if you pray for what you want, God is certainly able to provide. He says, don't worry about that. If you just go down there, the angel of the Lord paved the way. And so it was, his concern was made known. Every parent ought to be concerned about what's going to happen to your children when you're gone. Listen, there ain't but 3 stages of life when I think about this whole text. Listen, here's what happens. We're born, we get married, then we get old. And whatever else you do in between all of that is coincidental. You're born, you grow up and have babies, and then you get old, and then you conquer out. Gone. You know you all right when you can talk about your death and know it's all right. It don't bother me no more. It don't bother me. I just hope it don't hurt. But they don't bother me. So, three things happen in life. You're born. And as you are transitioning, from the day you're born, you start transitioning. And the end of every man's life is the same. He was old, well stricken in age, but he wondered what's going to happen to my son. Let me get into it. Bam. So, and the other thing that you can read in verse 1 when it says that he was well stricken in age, but the Lord blessed him in all things. Now, the reason why Abraham wanted to make sure that the boy had a wife and that he got him from his homeland was because he's going to leave an inheritance. Chapter 25, he finally gives up the ghost. That's what the text says. He gave up the ghost in chapter 25 and he died and they buried him with their fathers. But he left an inheritance. My brothers and sisters, as we grow toward the twilight of life and the senior part of life, the thing you really ought to do is make sure that you leave something for your children to hang on to. I mean, you ought to be standing on the shoulders of your parents. Amen. And those values that you're standing on, you ought to pass them on. Amen. And your children. Don't you pity the child who don't know how to get anything done. Amen. Because while the parents were doing whatever they were, they left the first thought. She read it again. Train up a child in the way that he should go. That when he gets old, he will not depart. Abraham was old, well stricken in age, but he had something because he didn't get his blessings off the streets. He didn't get his blessing. He wasn't a drug dealer. He wasn't a crack smoker. He didn't get his blessings off the street. For the text said the Lord blessed him. All right, go ahead. In all things. Nothing more delightful than to look at a well-spent life and for someone to say, I got it because of my relationship with God.